Good afternoon, my fellow YouTubers. This is Sister Erica again, making another video in regards to the dreams and visions that God has shown me that I would like to share with you. I'm sorry it's taken me a while to make another video. I just have a lot to do. I'm sure you guys all, have jobs and things like that. You have to take care of your household, but I said I was going to do it and I made myself do it today. Um, Before we start, I just want to ask the good Lord to please provide me with the wisdom and the right words to express myself so everyone understands what I'm talking about. And before we start, I just want to remind everyone of a scripture for all those non-believers out there that want to post nasty comments, which I'll tell you right now, I really don't care. Okay, I'm one of those people that you're not going to make me cry, or it's not going to hurt my feelings. Okay, we all have to answer to the Lord whether you like it or not. If I'm wrong, then I guess after I die I'll just be in limbo and nothing will happen. But if I'm right and you're wrong, well, that sucks. You're gonna be SOL. So, and if you don't know what SOL means, you better look it up, because hell is not the place that I would want to be in. The scripture I want to read right now is Acts 2:17. It says here, "And it shall come to pass in the last days, said God, I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons, your daughters, and daughters shall prophesy, and your young men shall see visions, and your old men shall dream dreams." I've actually had so many dreams that I actually bought a journal, and I've been writing and drawing in there, writing what I dream or what God tells me, and drawing the pictures to the best of my ability. Some of them I've just tried to Google pictures because I don't have the time to draw it in there as I work and I have a household to run, and I'm also going to school part-time. But I'm keeping up with it, so I'm pretty proud of that. I won't share every dream in here with you just because some of them don't really pertain to this. It's just God answering my questions and concerns. Um, so, the ones I'm going to share with you are the ones that have to do with end times dreams and visions. The first one is one that was dated April of 2015. And this one I just titled "One-Liners That God Has Stated to Me While I'm Half Asleep or in the process of falling asleep." And this has happened to me quite often. I hear him loud and clear the way you hear me right now, except he has a big baritone voice. He commands attention, but he's still, very loving in his tone when he speaks to me. On about 2 or 3 occasions, I heard him uh, instruct me to save enough water, that I'll need it soon. In my dream, he showed me a room about the size of my office. My office isn't that big. I'll say it's probably um, 15 by 15 in length and 7-8 feet tall. Probably the size of a small child's room. That's what he instructed me to do, and non-perishable food. So I have been doing that every place in my house that I can fit water, cases of water. Every time I go grocery shopping, even if it's 2, 3, I buy them. And I've been stocking up on non-perishable food, which I'll be honest, I really don't like it. In my regular daily life, I'm not a person that likes to eat boxed food or canned food or top ramen or anything like that. I like to cook. But, in the last days, we really won't have a choice. So I'm just being obedient to the Lord and stocking up as much as I can. My house isn't that big, but, I got to try, at least make an attempt. And in the background, sorry, probably see my little cat back there. She's grooming herself. Her name is Cheetah. If you see her moving around, don't be alarmed. That's just my cat. And I'm sure that you also see my little Christmas tree back here. Sorry, it's a little ghetto. Some of the lights went out on the bottom. I'm sure you'll notice it's past Christmas already, but it's January 18th, but I just love the Christmas season this year. There's nothing like the Christmas feeling, so I still have my decorations up. I really don't plan to take them down till either the beginning of February or around Valentine's Day. So that's why they're up. Um, Back to my dream. The Lord told me to stock up on food and water. He didn't say when I would need it, but He did show me that. And He's actually shown me that 2 or 3 times, verbally and in my dreams, which we'll get to later in another dream that I had. Uh, this is a different dream I had. It's dated May 6th of 2015. Um, I was asleep and I was woken up by a earthquake, and it was one of those violent shaky ones. If you live anywhere in the US where you have earthquakes, I live in California. We have two different types. We have the kind that roll like this, and those don't feel too bad, but then there's the ones that just shake like this really bad, and those are very scary. It's like someone picking up a box and just shaking it. um, this happened in the middle of the night, and it shook pretty violently for a few seconds. It actually woke me up. And when I woke up, I heard God say loud and clear again, just like I'm talking to you and you can hear me right now. He said, "These are the beginning of labor pains." And this is also something that He says in the Bible. When I heard that, as I was waking up, my next thought was, well, a woman is not in labor forever. I mean, women are in labor for sometimes a few hours, a few days, but it's not something that lasts, a long time compared to months or years. So that just really, you know, shook my inner core. Um, if you see me looking to the side, it's because I'm reading my journal. I don't want to miss any important details. I want to share this with you as thoroughly as possible. Um, that being said, I just want to reiterate that, it's really time that we clean up our houses. I'm sure that you've heard that phrase before, that analogy. And no, it does not mean literally cleaning your house. It means getting right with God. Um, I'll put it to you this way. This is something my pastor told us. If you're still think you could smoke a joint here and there, it is time to stop that. If you're shacking up with someone and you're not married, if you're having random sex, just whatever you're doing, even if to you think, oh, well, this is not something I do all the time, it's just a once in a while thing. No, you need to cut it out. And I'm also guilty of that, and that's something I'm working on. So I am too, cleaning my house and trying to get my house in order, myself right, so I could be right with the Lord when that time comes, because, my brothers and sisters, I feel it's going to be very soon, like soon in this lifetime, maybe in the next 5 or 10 years at the most, maybe 15, but we'll see. I just feel in my spirit that it's soon. So, sorry, I have hiccups. Let's go on to the next dream. This is another one where the Lord showed me how He works on us or our problems whenever we come to Him and ask Him for something, whether it be Him making us a better person, or let's say maybe we have a crazy neighbor. We're just praying that God blesses their finances, or somehow, you know, makes that neighbor move away. Just any problem that you have, whether it's fixing your car, your health, whatever. This is what God showed me. Um, I was dreaming. It was a dream at night, and God let me know that no matter how much we have going on in our lives, or what life situation we may be going through or praying on, that nothing is too complicated for the Holy Spirit to handle. God showed me that His love is vigilant, and He's constantly working on us. He showed me how He works on us from our inner core, from the smallest atom. And when I say atom, I mean like the stuff that you learn in science. seeds, the little atom molecules and everything. Um, he showed me how the Holy Spirit works on what we need help with, whether it's in one area of our lives or a multitude of areas within our lives. Um, the Holy Spirit is very fast. This was, I can't even, the speed of light. That's the only way I can explain it. And he works nonstop to give us what we ask for. Um, and this is what he showed me. This is what I saw in my dream. I hope you could see it. I drew it. It's an atom, um, with little molecules going around it at light speed. That's what he showed me. And that's how he works on us. And I just thought that was so cool. I mean, he works the littlest, tiniest thing that you can't even see. And he's working on all of them throughout our body, or whatever the situation may be at light speed. Um, this is another, this is actually, I was half asleep. Lately, a lot of these dreams and visions I've seen. I guess I'll call them visions because I know I was half asleep. I wasn't all the way asleep. Either I was falling asleep, some of them I was falling asleep, and other ones I was just waking up. On this particular one, every night before I go to bed, I read the word and I pray. And one of the things I always ask God for is to show me anything he wants, whether it be, something about me. Maybe there's something about me, a characteristic that I'm not aware of, that, that shouldn't be there, that I should get rid of, that I should make a change so I could be right with him. I ask him to show me anything about end times prophecy or the end of the world, or just how to get ready. I tell him that anything he shows me, that I'll be his voice. I'll be more than happy to share with people that want to listen. But I also tell him if there's something he doesn't want me to reveal, just to let me know. And so far he hasn't told me, that he doesn't want me to reveal anything. So far it's okay for me to share all this stuff. This is another one. Like I said, I was half asleep, and I did ask him on that particular night to reveal or share any information with me that can lead others to Christ. So after I did this, I went to bed, and I woke up the first time around 1:35, maybe 1:40 in the morning. And I remember being half asleep, but I heard a really piercing sound, like when your ears are ringing. But it was very loud. I mean, it was so loud I couldn't ignore it. I had to wake up. It sounded like one of those horns that are like a boat horn or something. It was very loud, and not only did I hear it in my ears, I heard it inside of my head, if that makes sense. All of a sudden, I saw, it looked like a little star or a piece of glitter, I guess, kind of in the Disney movies when there's a fairy and you see a little glitter and it starts coming into focus. But then it turned into like a tail of glittery light. And then I saw the bottom of a foot. And then all of a sudden I saw a thorny cross, like a cross, like Jesus, but made out of thorns, but it was gold. It was so beautiful. And then it turned into a sandal, like those old sandals that they used to wear back when Christ was on earth, those gladiator type sandals. And then I heard God say, "And this light I give to put upon my children." Right after I heard this, I got up and I started praying on it, and I asked God to explain a little bit more of what he meant by this. And then I fell back asleep. And then about 5:40 or 5:45, I woke up in the morning. I woke up again, and I heard God tell me loud and clear once again. He told me that it means that Jesus' word, that the Bible will be our light during the very dark days or times that are ahead in the near future. when I woke up in the morning, not that I don't understand that, but I wanted to look a little bit more into it. So I looked up the term light in the Bible. I have a Bible reference that you can look up any word or any topic, and it tells you what page, which pages in the Bible uh, speak about that term or that topic. So I looked it up, and when I looked up light, it also had a lot of terms, or I'm sorry, it also had to do with the term dark. So then I started looking up scriptures that contain the term light, and these ones really stuck out to me, but it's really long, so I'm going to ask that you read it. It's First John uh, chapter 1, verse 5 through chapter 2, verse 6. And I just want to show you a little bit. There's one picture missing. Forgive me. I'm going to look for it online. I did it today. I just forgot to get this one. But these are the closest pictures I could come up with, well, that I could find on Google. Um, I put a number next to them, so I really hope you could see it. This dream I'm telling you about, this is the first thing I saw, the glitter, the little star, but then it turned into like a glittery trail. Um, then I saw a foot. It was only 1 foot, but this is the only foot I could find with some light at the bottom. It looked like an illuminated foot. I only saw 1 foot in my dream, not two, but that's the closest picture I can get. Here is going to go the thorny cross, which that's the one I forgot to look up. And even though this is a really good picture of a gladiator sandal, it's gold. Hope you could see that. In my dream, I could see the bottom, the sole on the bottom of the foot, but it did rotate and show me the gladiator straps. That's how I knew, but then it went back into focus and all I could see was the bottom part. This other dream, now here we're getting to a good long one. I actually had not too long ago, November 21st, 2015. Now I just want to tell you, before I share this dream with you, I had this dream. I'm sure you've all heard or seen on the news about the San Bernardino massacre, the shootings of the Muslims. I actually live about 40 minutes away from San Bernardino. That's my sister county. I live here in Riverside. The reason we call it sister county is because Riverside and San Bernardino are close to each other, so close that people work in one county and live in the other. It's very normal for you to be in both counties in one day. Um, Maybe to some of you, you think then they must be small counties. They're not. It's just that where the bigger cities are and the major freeways that you use to either go to Palm Springs or LA or Riverside or San Bernardino, the high desert, basically we're in the center of Southern California in an area called the Inland Empire. So that's why it's not too far from me. Again, this stream I had after that, but I know that this dream was from God. It wasn't because I was watching the news or anything like that. Because to be honest with you, I don't watch the news. The only reason I knew about that is because I go to the gym in the mornings and they have a bunch of big screens up, and they have the news and different channels on, and you could see the for the deaf people, I don't want to use the incorrect term because they're not translating it like people say. I don't even like that term. People don't even know how to use it correctly. But all the words for the deaf people, the closed captioned on the bottom. Um, that's how I know that occurred in San Bernardino. Um, but I don't watch the news because I think it's depressing, and it's just, they try to scare you. They don't talk about the good things or things that have to do with the Lord. The way I get my news is I watch evangelist Anita Fuentes. If you've never heard of her, please look her up. She's awesome. I love the way she presents it and how she compares it to Bible prophecy. Um, And I do like Alex Jones too. I like him. Lord bless that man for everything he does. Um, those are pretty much, in a few YouTube videos here and there. Jason A, I like him. There's another person, the Angel of, I forgot their name, but they're pretty popular too. Um, so, anyways, now I'm going to start explaining this stream. This one I entitled "What's Going to Happen when the New World Order is Ushered into the United States." Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. This is a different dream. I'm sorry, it's not the one I mentioned with the Muslims. That is probably the next one. Yes, the next one I'm going to share with you. This one is actually God showed me how when the New World Order rolls in, how it's going to occur here in the U.S. This dream was a two-part dream I had. When I had the dream, I had the first part. I woke up, then I went back to sleep, and then I had the second part. But when I woke up in the morning, I didn't realize that the two dreams were one and the same, or that the second one had to do with the first one, because the second one was different than the first. But then God revealed to me in my spirit that um, it was a two-part dream. The first part of the dream reminded me of how the Nazis conquered Germany and the Jews. And the second part of the dream I had, like I said, after I went back to sleep. The second dream consisted of how people, although they were warned and told that Jesus is coming back soon, that they weren't willing to change their sinful ways, and they will continue to be very much wrapped up in worldly things like sex with random and various partners, taking advantage of other people, partying, not taking care of their kids, um, just all the stuff that you see going on right now. The reason that I had this dream is because every night before I go to bed, again, like I stated, I ask God to show me different things that are going on, or that are either going to happen to the world or the US or whatever He chooses to show me. Um, I ask Him to use me as a vessel and to show me what's going to happen to the world in the near future. That way I can be His voice and share it with others, while either talking to people in normal conversation or on YouTube or in my journal, which I hope that one day maybe I'll write a book, or maybe somehow it'll make its way around and it'll find its way back to me, or you never know. One day I might die and someone might find it and it might save someone. The first part of the dream, uh, as I stated, is how the New World Order is going to be ushered into the U.S. The first thing I remember in this dream is I saw a long railroad track with a train on it, a long train, but it wasn't loaded up. Um, it was just, the wheels and that flat part where they load up the different containers on. Um, but the train in my dream looked very old. I want to say that it was either in black and white, like the black and white movies, or it just looked old. And when I say old, I mean like the trains they used to have in Germany in the 1940s. That's the way my train looked. And like I said, it just had flat, I guess, kind of like a tow truck, how the tow truck is flat and you put the car on it. It was flat like that, but instead of being metal, it was wood. And in my dream, I could see that it had things. I'm so sorry, my nose is itching. It had anything and everything made out of metal. That's what it was carrying, whether it was still in good working condition or if it was broke down. Um, it was carrying refrigerators, fences, old cars, new cars. In my dream, God made it known to me that Americans were going to be obligated and forced to donate any goods or materials that were made out of different metals. So it didn't matter if it was steel, iron, um, cheap metal, aluminum. Um, we were being forced to give that up. We had to donate it, and that's why all of that stuff was made, was put on the train. Um, and also, I'm sorry. Right here, I put anything that was metal or steel and that could be melted down or recycled. In my dream, I don't know what they were going to melt it down or repurpose it for, but I'm sure it couldn't have been anything good. If they're taking it away from us, I'm sure they're going to make tanks or something, weapons out of it. In addition, God also made it known to me that not only were we going to be obligated to, give up our old refrigerators or even new at that, cars, that we were also going to be forced to give up to turn over our firearms. If you're a gun owner and you have a weapon, your firearms, your ammunition, food, clothes, medicine, anything made of precious uh, metals like gold, silver, platinum, jewelry, things that are worth money. In my dream, there were really long lines of cars of people waiting their turn so they can go turn in all these belongings that I just mentioned. Um, and of course, God let me know in my spirit that after they would do this, they would be without. These people were in long lines entering a military camp. Um, and when I say long lines, I mean they were as far as the eye can see. Okay. Um, But at the same time, in my dream, on the contrary, there were many people that were against it and they were not going to give up their goods or belongings. Um, and in my dream, I was one of them. In my dream, the people were counting on me and other veterans to not give in and to lead a revolution. In my dream, uh, the next day was going to be the first day of our modern civil war. And whether you were a vet or not, just people that weren't going to give in. It didn't matter if you were Christian or not. There was just some people that knew better, and they just were not going to give that stuff up. So in my dream, myself and others, where I lived supposedly in my dream, it was like a long, what a duplex is, like two apartments or two houses kind of stuck together in a unit, but you each have your garage and your own yard and everything. Um, that's that's the type of area I lived in, but it was kind of the countryside, and behind my house there was a big, big field, and behind the field there was a big ditch with a lot of trees, and myself and other people were back there in that ditch. We were digging holes in trenches that would be used to either hide our goods like guns and ammunition and various weapons, food, clothing, medicine, anything that we might need to sustain us. We were hiding back there, and in addition, we were making foxholes because we were getting ready for the good fight. And lastly, in my dream, there were rumors that our armed forces were killing anyone who admitted that they were Christian. And the reason I knew this is because in my dream there was people coming back and they were just crying. I mean, they were sobbing. Didn't matter if they were men, women, children, grown, the biggest machoist man you could think of. They were coming back crying like babies. And these people, which were non-Christians that were coming back, they were coming back from the base, which was a makeshift base. It wasn't an actual base. It was out, if you're familiar with the term, the field, where they're just tents and they just kind of make their own little base, like you see out in Iraq or anywhere where you get deployed. It was that type of thing. Uh, the non-Christians, after coming back from turning in their belongings and goods, were crying and sobbing and saying that they were being asked if they were Christian or if they believed in God, that's what they were doing over there, that was another thing that they were doing, and that those people that said yes were shot in the head on the spot, just shot in the face, in front of everyone to see. It didn't matter who was standing nearby. You know, some of those people in my dream came back with brains splattered on them. Uh, After this dream, I woke up and I was a little frightened and scared, but I thanked God for showing me that. And I told him that I welcomed anything else that he might want to show me, and that I would be happy to share it. After this, I fell back asleep and I started dreaming that um, I was hiding my food, my ammunition, my medicine. And in addition to that, I actually wrote it back here because I forgot to add it um, to this part. Let's see if I could find it. Yes, I put here, I also forgot to mention in the first part of my dream that I was able to fly in that sun. And I wasn't able to fly that high, just like 10 or 15 feet, just enough to get over a building or get over into someone's porch. And that in my dream, some non believers saw me flying and that they started saying that I was a witch. And in my spirit, in my dream, God let me know that no, I was not a witch, that I was just special, and that was a gift that He had given me because I was to go to the houses where people were either disabled or elderly and couldn't open the door. That's why He let me fly in there, fly over the porch or, you know, into their backyard to get in through the back door to let them know about the New World Order and what was going to happen, meaning the Civil War, the revolution that was about to start. Um, then when I woke up from that, I fell back asleep and I had a second dream. And at first, I just thought it was a random dream. It wasn't until after I woke up I realized it was still part of what God was showing me. Um, he showed me that basically that when He comes back, that people, no matter how many Christians or different people let the non-believers know that He's coming back, that just like that scripture says, they have eyes to see but they cannot see, they have ears to hear but they cannot hear, meaning, you know, even if people tell you, you're still not going to pay attention, you're not hearing them, it's just going in through one ear and out the other, because they're too wrapped up in their worldly and sinful ways that they choose to abide by here on earth. um In my second dream, I dreamt that my stepdad had a really big house. It was maybe 8, 10, 15 rooms. And that our family lived there, but the rooms that were empty were being rented out. That it was other people that lived there that were not our family members. In my dream, it was my stepdad, it was me, my sister, her kids, my mom, my dad, and his girlfriend, and my brothers, my two brothers that lived there. And then all the extra rooms, it was other people that lived there, but I didn't know these people. They were just random people. I remember them being females though. Um, One of them was this young girl. I don't think she was more than 20 years old. She had a baby. Her baby was about 1 year old, and this girl was just, she was a hoochie in my dream. She would leave her kid to go and party and do drugs and go have sex with random guys and just leave her kid there with us. Like, no one, not even say, hey, Erica, do you want to watch her? Nothing. You know, she would just leave her there at the house by herself. Um, and then there was another girl that was really dirty. She didn't clean up after herself. And in my dream, she filled up. Our kitchen was one of those, it looked like a restaurant kitchen where the sink is big and the stove is big and the tables to cut up your food are big, an industrial kitchen like they have in the restaurants that the chefs use. And our sink was really big. And she had all these dishes in there that she hadn't cleaned up, and she was filling it up with water to supposedly wash the dishes, but then either someone called her to go to a party or a guy told her, come on, let's go out, let's hang out. And she just left all of those dishes in there, but not only did she leave them in there, she left the water running. So it got so heavy that it actually just fell. This whole sink and all, the sink fell with dishes and everything. Gross water was everywhere. Um, and in my dream, I was getting really upset because my stepdad didn't do anything. He didn't charge these people rent, and he didn't tell them like, "Hey, it's not okay for you to leave your kid here by herself. She's 1 year old. You have to watch her. You know, um, it's not okay for you to live here and not clean up after yourself." So in my dream, I was mad. And I was yelling at these girls and I was telling them, we are not your maid service. You need to pick up after yourself. And not in those words, I was actually cursing at these girls. And the one especially that was leaving her kid, I was pretty upset about that. I told her, what type of a mother are you leaving your kid here? You need to watch her. She's only 1 year old. But in my dream, God intervened and he told me, he said, "My child," he said, don't curse at them. Just let them know that what they're doing isn't right, but don't ruffle your feathers over it. Like, don't let it raise your blood pressure, because when I come back, sadly, although my children are trying to spread the word and save people, sadly, the amount of people that are going to be saved is going to be this much compared to the amount of people that are going to be going to hell. That's what he told me. It's so sad that God already knows, that the amount of people that, even though he's been working on his ministry, even after he died, that he knows that people aren't listening to us, and a lot of them are going to hell. And in my dream, another person I saw, and I don't know why, I've seen her many times in my dreams. I pray for her and her family. Maybe not as much as I should, but I do pray for them because I think they're lost souls. Is Kris Kardashian, the mom of the Kardashians. I've seen her quite a few times in my dreams, and she doesn't care about her kids, or at least not in my dreams. I don't know her personally, but in my dreams, all they are is money in the ATM machine for her. I saw her in my dream just sitting there in the couch on her phone, just texting or whatever she was doing, and I was trying to tell her, this is what's going to happen. You need to get it together. You don't seem like you're a very good mom. You're not, grooming your kids or warning them or telling them about what's going on. There was just a lack of remorse. It was like I was talking to a tree stump. I don't think she could even hear me. Let's see. And that was it. That's pretty much that dream. When I woke up, like I said, I didn't really realize that that dream had to do with the first dream, but that's when God let me know in my spirit that he was showing me that even after the New World Order takes over, that a lot of people are just really not going to care, and they're just going to go along, they're going to roll with the punches, and they're not going to change their sinful ways, and they're just going to keep doing whatever they want and not realize that they need to get it together and change. Okay, now here we go. This is the dream that I talked about earlier, that I mistook for my last dream. This one is where God showed me that the Muslim extremist or Islamist or whatever you want to call them are going to be attacking us on U.S. soil. As I said, I had this dream after the San Bernardino massacres, and I know that it wasn't because of that. This was something else that God was showing me. I would like to um, make it a point, very important point, that in this dream, I could see both outside. I was in a building. I could see both what was going on outside of the building and the inside of the building. And something very drastic had happened outside of the building. It looked like a bomb had went off, but not just a regular little bomb. This was some type of big explosion that impacted, I don't know if it was just California, but it was on a very large scale. And the reason I I knew about this is because everything as far as the eye can see was just, it was disheveled. It was flattened. It looked like those videos that you see of atomic bombs going off. In the atmosphere, you could see it in the atmosphere too. Um, there was no bright blue sky and pretty sun. Everything was a rusty orange, and you could see chemicals in the air. You could see that buildings were just flattened. Um, Everything, it looked like a war zone. That's all. That's the only way I can explain it. And you could tell in the air. You could tell by the way everything looked that there a big explosion, a big bomb had gone off. I had this dream actually about a month ago. It was between December 15th and 20th of 2015. I had a dream I was either inside of a school or maybe it was some type of government building, but all those buildings looked the same to me. Um, in my dream, it was dark and gloomy, and the atmosphere looked very hazy, very rusty reddish, a rusty red looking color. It looked like some type of bomb had gone off nearby. I remember looking outside and seeing the ISIS type religious extremists outside with their long religious garbs and gowns and headdresses. But the only weird thing about this, and I know it's not weird, it's just that when we see them on TV, they always look Muslim or Middle Eastern. Um, these ones looked black, like African American. But if you Google pictures of Islamists, you'll realize that they're not only Middle Eastern, some of them look black, some of them look Asian. It just depends which country they're from. But they looked light skinned. They didn't look dark. They looked maybe a little darker than me, some of them. They looked mixed, like black and white, a way black and white person would look. I remember running inside of the building and slamming the double doors behind me, and it reminded me of a gymnasium, like the school gymnasium, when you're a kid and you have to go to gym class, the big gymnasium where they play basketball. It reminded me of that because I could see bleachers and long tables. That's why I think it might have been a school, but I'm not too sure. Um, Inside of the gymnasium, there were men, women, and children, and both young and old, and they were very scared and they were crying. And I remember being very calm. I remember not being scared at all. I was very collected, and I wasn't panicking. I just knew that if I wanted to live, that I would have to keep it together and remain calm so I can, you know, get these people out of there, lead them out. And I remember telling the people that were crying, um, I was speaking to them in a loud drill sergeant tone. I told them to stop crying and not to panic, to keep calm, and to help me barricade the door because that's what we needed to do in order to stay alive, is stay calm and to do certain things to make it out of their life. And the next thing in my dream, I knew I was just throwing the kids. I was throwing them across the room, but not to hurt them. In my dream, they were flying into a hallway, and that's how we were going to escape. It was kind of like a maze. Um, it was my intention to get them out of there. That's why I was, throwing them over there. And after that, I started barricading the door with these big tables or just anything I can get to put in front of that door so the people that were outside couldn't get in because they had M16s and bazookas and all kinds of stuff. Um, After that, I just remember running through the building with the kids and the adults, trying to find a way out or either a place to hide. This was a really big building, like I said, so it was very tall hallways. And, like in the movies, probably like, I think they do it, I'm not so sure. I, oh yes, it's, oh, I forgot the name. It's the one with Queen Latifah where she has four girlfriends. Jada Pinkett Smith's in it, and they rob a bank. Um, it's an old '90s. Set It Off, and they unscrew these vents to hide their money, but they're big enough for an adult or a child to get through. Uh, since this building was so big, like I said, we either had to get out of there, and in my dream, we either had to get out through the back doors, find a way out through the back to where no one can see us, or we had to hide. And the only way we could hide is going in through these vents, unscrewing them, getting in there, crawling in as far as we could, and just staying quiet. You know, can't even hear you breathe type of thing. Um, I remember feeling like it was a maze, but I don't remember being scared. I was, uh, I actually felt pretty brave in this. I felt very much in control in this dream. I felt in control of my emotions and, you know, in my thoughts and everything. I wasn't scared of extremists. I just knew we had to hide and how to do it. And finally, I remember not having a gun or owning one. And in my dream, I was asking for a gun. And we finally got to a place in the back of the building where I saw these just regular American men, like just regular guys, with guns. And I told them, I said, give me one of your guns because I know, how to shoot from pretty far. In real life, I can take people out if I was in the military. I know how to do that stuff. In my dream, I told them, give me your gun so I can take a couple of these guys out. That way they can't follow us. And in my dream, the men told me that us women folk need men, that we don't need guns to protect ourselves, that we only need men, whatever, to protect us. Um, so after that, I knew that I would have to find a gun on a dead body if I wanted to, or a gun lying around if I wanted one, if I wanted to use one. And that was it. That was the end of my dream. After that, I woke up and I felt a sense of urgency, letting me know that I need a gun because pretty soon all Americans are going to need one. You can take that however you want. You know, there's a lot of people that say, oh, well, that's not a Christian thing to do. God doesn't tell us to kill. Well, I'll tell you what, God also doesn't tell us to bow down to our enemies. There's a lot of stories in the Bible where David and Goliath, that's probably the main one that pops into my head. Um, and freeing I believe it's the Israelites from Egypt. He never once in any of those stories, and I know there's many more. Those are just the only two I can think off the top of my head. Where he says, we are not to falter before the enemy. We are to fight the good fight. So take it how you want it. That's all I'm going to say. Um, God has let me know many times in my dreams. In my other one, he showed me we are not to give up our guns and we are to fight. In the last stream I just told you about. So, and I don't think God's a liar. I pray for discernment, and he hasn't told me yet that there wasn't a dream or something that he didn't give to me. So I'm following what he's telling me to do because I don't want to be in a situation where I feel so stupid, or I could die or whatever just because I didn't listen to him. I'd rather be safe than sorry. If I have a gun and I never end up using it, great. But if I need to use it, I'd rather have it. Let's see. This dream I actually had a few days ago. And I think this is the last dream I've had. Now this one was pretty weird. This dream was about Obama. I've heard a lot of people talking about having dreams about Obama, but I never had one myself until a few days ago. Um, in my dream, I lived with my mom and either my dad or my stepdad and my sister. And I remember my dad being there, either him or my stepdad, but it's fuzzy. That part is fuzzy, and I know that part wasn't important. The details as to my dad or stepdad were not important. But in my dream, Obama was interested in me romantically, and he kept trying to ask me out. And every time he would come over, I would either hide or I would pretend to be asleep because I was dodging him. I didn't want to go out with him. And he did this many times in my dreams. He kept being persistent. And in my dream, my mom kept encouraging me to go out with him. But in my spirit, I knew that he was bad news. I just knew I had to stay away from him. He gave me the creeps, and that's why I was avoiding him. And in my dream, he spoke fluent Spanish. I speak Spanish, and he spoke perfect Spanish. He was totally brainwashing my mom. I mean, he was a smooth talker, okay? Just smooth talk. Whatever he wants to get, he gets. And he doesn't do it by intimidating people. He does it by, he uses, like that saying goes, you get more bees with honey than with vinegar, and that's how he does it. He was actually a nice man. I can't say he was mean in my dream. I just knew in my spirit that I had to stay away from him. He never discussed politics with my family or with, I don't think I spoke to him, but with my family, he would just try to win them over or my mom. And in my dream, what stood out is that he was wearing a uniform, a military uniform, and it was gray with either gold or brass buttons, and it looked similar to what Hitler or Stalin wore, except that he didn't tuck his pants inside of his boots. They were just regular pants, like the way a blazer and a pantsuit looks like. But they were definitely military attire. And that's pretty much, that's all that I dreamt. But it really stood out to me because, like I said, I've never had a dream about Obama. I don't think I asked God for a dream about Obama. He just showed me that. I have a picture here. It's not the exact, it's just the blazer. I couldn't find a pant in a blazer one that would match this. But this is the closest one I found. I think this is a, well, my mom, I'm sorry, this is my cat. What? I'm busy. I'm sorry, excuse me. I don't know if you could see this really good, but that is the closest jacket I could find to what he was wearing. Like I said, he had, I'm sorry. Say hi. Say hi, Sheeta. Hello, this is my big baby, my 15-pound Siberian. That's what he was wearing, and it just really stood out. In my dream, I knew he was a dictator. That's what God was showing me. That was the point of the dream. I know Obama's not a dictator now. I don't know, that could be literally. That could just mean figurative. It could be figurative. Um, I did hear something the other day actually, and it made sense to me. Um, I don't remember where. It was some type of Christian news or something to that effect, that he's running to become the chief of, I want to say, the UN. So that would qualify him to be a global leader, which is a dictator. Come on, the UN, they're over many nations. So maybe that's what that means. I don't know. We'll just have to see in the future, but that's all for me now. Oh, actually, one more thing. I'm so sorry. This actually happened, and this was not a dream or a vision. This is something I saw um, on Thursday, this Thursday, when I was coming home from school. The blood was a reddish, a rusty red color. When I had gone to school, because I go to school from 6:30 to 9, it's already dark. The moon was little and it was white, but there was a lot of fog. It looked really pretty, but it was normal. When I was coming back home, uh, I always look up because it says in the Bible, to look up for him, to look up at the moon and the stars, to be waiting vigilantly, to keep your head up, looking towards the heavens. So that's what I do. And I just looked up, and lo and behold, the moon was big. It was like 20, 30, maybe 40 times bigger than when it was earlier. And it was a rusty red orange. I mean, yes, I know it wasn't super blood red, but in scripture it does say that that before his return, that that the moon is going to turn blood red. And it also says, I have it somewhere in here, just not right here, I don't think. But it does say that he will use the moon, the stars, the sky, the heavens to communicate with us. That he will be showing us things through the moons, the heavens, the stars, and the sky. So this is what I saw, though I didn't finish the drawing, but if you could see it, it was very big, and that's what it looked like. Just the bottom part, half of a part. And I mean, you had to be colorblind to not notice that it was a red color. And to my knowledge, this is the second red moon we've had that's not on the lunar calendar, that we've had, I think, since November, December of 2015. So just keep, for all you believers out there, keep your eyes in the sky each and every day, because I look all the time, even during the daytime, and lately I just see the most beautiful things that, it's not a regular sun or a regular moon. It's a sign from God. So that's all for me for this video. It's a very long video. Later on, I'm going to have to do one in Spanish to share with my Spanish speaking brothers and sisters. But for now, I just want to thank you for your time, and let's continue to pray, and pray for the unsaved to be saved. Pray for the people in high places to get it together and to turn from their sinful ways, and pray for a revival, and pray that on the day that the good fight comes, that there's a lot of people out there that don't back down and don't bow down to the wicked one, because it's going to take a lot of us to fight, not just one or two people. I mean, come on, people. Back in the day, there was great leaders like Martin Luther King and Abraham Lincoln. Why don't we have people like that now? All we have is a bunch of lazy people playing video games and smoking their brains out. I'm not even going to get started on that, because I'll get on that soapbox and I won't get off. But we need to get it together, people, because if we don't save ourselves, or at least try, no one will. So just want to thank you for your time, and wish everyone a happy new year. And I hope that you all clean house. Like I said, clean house, and do it fast, and just look to the Lord even when you feel like you can't, or you want to smoke a joint or have a drink or whatever your downfall is, to look to him, or go for a walk or go do something. But don't give in. Okay? All right. You guys have a great rest of your day, and God bless.